guys, and welcome back to FredTMK Gaming. Um, Today we're going to take a look at the Aufklärungspanzer Panther, the Tier 7 German light tank. I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at this because I know many people think it's a bad tank and they don't know what to do with it because it's it's supposed to be a light tank, but it's pretty much a Panther after all. And so I decided, why not take a look at it and figure out what this machine can do and how you can have fun in it and success in it. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's take a look at the tech tree first. We can see here that the Aufklärungspanther marks the end of the German scout line or light tank line. It's not really a scout line, but still it's a light tank line. And the next tank would be the Indian Panzer, and from that you could go to the Leopard 1, tier 10, very nice tier 10 medium tank. I haven't played it myself yet, but I heard it's pretty good, and I've seen some videos with it, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this one too. But there's another way to get there, and it's via the standard German medium line. So if you had any tank up to the Panther, I think it was, or VK, prior to patch 8.5, you can also just grab your VK 2002 DB again and then jump to the Indian Panzer and go to the Leopard 1. But still, maybe you only had the VK 2801. The tier 5, was it back then, or was it already tier 6? I don't quite remember right now. Yeah, but still, if you don't have the standard German mediums and had the light tank, you can just grab the Aufklärungspanther and then go to the Indian Panzer and continue on to the Leopard 1. So, there are actually two ways. So if you don't like this tank, you don't have to use it to get to the Leopard 1. That's always good to have a choice. Yeah, so let's get back to the garage and take a more detailed look at it. So it's pretty much, it's a Panther. The hull is a Panther. If we, let's grab a, now I don't have a standard Panther right now, but I got the M10 Panther, which is pretty much the same, and we can compare those, and yes, it's the same size. It has the same armor. For a light tank, it has pretty good armor. If we look at the values here, 85 from the front and sloped back for a light tank, that's pretty damn good. But you're a huge target, and that's your major drawback. You may have medium tank armor, but you're also a huge target, so it doesn't really matter that much. Because the other thing is, this tank is getting tier 10 matchmaking pretty often, so your armor doesn't really matter in this case. But let's just start from the beginning. We got 950 hit points. For light tank, that's really good. If we have a look at the type 62, we only have 880, and that's also tier 7. So that's not bad. Although the weight, it's a Panther again. 42 tons. That's the weight of a Panther. So we do get a very powerful engine, 900 horsepower. But still, the power to weight ratio is 21.42. That's not bad. But if we look at the Type 62, that's almost the same. If we look at the ELC, do I need to say anything? It's way better on the ELC, for example. On the AIM-X it's better, on the T71 it's probably better. So there's no real point in comparing this thing to the other tier 7 or maybe tier 8 light tanks, because it just plays entirely different, and it's a completely different vehicle. So we got a 900 horsepower engine. Now, the power to weight ratio is not bad. Don't get me wrong here, but it's not outstanding for a light tank. The speed limit 60 kilometers an hour. That's pretty standard for a light tank. Type 62 has the same. MX has even more, so that's nothing to write home about. Not bad either, but yeah. Very mobile though. 40 degrees traverse speed. If we compare the standard Panther, let's go to the tech tree. Panther Elite tracks, we got 28, so it's much more mobile. Same goes for the turret. We got 44 degrees of turret traverse. That's because that is a VK2801 turret. If we compare those, that's exactly the same. Just another Ausführung. That's Ausführung C, that's Ausführung B. It even says 2801. So it's exactly the same turret. So don't expect any armor there. But again, it's pretty mobile, and in tier 10 or tier 9 or tier 8 or even at tier 7, it doesn't matter if you have 50 millimeters or 100, and it's not sloped, so it doesn't really matter at all. Those armor values seem nice on paper for a light tank, but you only can work with them really if you get lucky and get into tier 7 matches, which occasionally happens, or tier 8 maybe, but again, most of the time you're getting into tier 9 or tier 10 matches, and you won't have anything from those 85 millimeters of armor or even 50. Yeah. We got a decent rate of fire with the conish gun. All other guns are garbage. The 10.5 centimeter L28 is fun on the VK, but on the Aufklärungspanzer Panther in tier 10, most of the time, it's not fun. So, we got the conish as the only actually usable gun, 75 millimeters caliber. 12 rounds a minute, that's pretty good. Keep in mind now that in 8.7 that's getting buffed, so we're getting 15 rounds a minute, but only because the average damage of the conish is getting nerfed to 135 instead of 65, and that's because the new tier 5 heavy tank, which will be here-ish, will get the conish, and that's why they had to nerf it. So they nerfed the gun and buffed the soft stats on the Aufklärungspanther, so the Aufklärungspanther doesn't get the nerf. So it will change a little bit, not much, but a little bit. Decent penetration, 157. Well, in tier 10 it's not that decent. That's right. But for tier 7 it should be enough actually. Of course, nice gold pen, that's enough for tier 7. For tier 8 or tier 9. But the gun is not that special at these high tiers. Really, it's not. Pretty good accuracy though, 0.34, that's not bad. Aiming time is a little bit slow, 2 seconds. For a light tank, well. So the gun is not bad, but it's not great. Really, it's suitable for flanking. If you go flank your enemies at tier 7, 8, 9, it's probably going to work. It's going to finish the job. But at tier 10, don't expect too much of it. And frontally, even at tier 7, it's not always going to penetrate ISs, for example. So that's that. We got a good radio, 710 meters signal range, and 390 meters of view range. That's nice. Well, but again, we're not going to really need them. Maybe the view range, but not the signal range. Because it doesn't really have this scout-like gameplay. Because it's the size of a barn, really, and so. But it's there, and it's good that it's there. It's nice that it's there. So if you're getting in tier 7 or 8, you can play it as a medium. I would play it as a Panther, that is a lot faster and has a worse gun and a worse turret armor. So you can angle your armor like this maybe, and then you can bounce some shots. You can get some bounces in those lower tiers, but again you are going to get into tier 10 and tier 9 most of the time, and that really forces you to play cautiously. Draw the enemy's attention to yourself, draw them away from your teammates, um, attack enemies whenever they attack one of your friendlies, you know, um, disturb the enemy, harass the enemy, things like these, small things. No, you can play as a frontline tank or even as a flanking tank. It's just too big for that, and its gun is not good enough. So you really have to do you gotta get used to it. You really gotta get used to this machine. It has a very unique playstyle. It's not really a scout, but it's not really a battle tank either. M you have light tanks that either are good scouts or are good at fighting, but this machine is neither of those, except maybe at tier 7. Then you can use it as a medium, as I said, but apart from that, not really. That's the problem with it. So it really takes some time to get used to it, but once you got used to it, you can do pretty well in it, really. I did have quite some fun in it, in some battles. Of course, some end it horribly, but I'll show you later. Let's take a look at crew skills we should maybe use for this machine and for the commander. If you haven't watched my previous videos, I usually like repairs first, or brothers in arms. You should always use brothers in arms as your first perk, because it gets to 100% a lot faster than the other skills you are going to select after that. So and it's a perk, and it's gonna be useless until it reaches 100%. So always use it as your first skill, and you're gonna be good. Very useful for this machine would be Sixth Sense, because I found myself in the opening minutes of a match to make maybe a small scouting run, just to spot one or two tanks and see where they are going, and but just that, only that, and that would help a lot to realize whether you got spotted or not, because again, you are a huge target, and that can save your life, really. You don't really need Eagle Eye, a Jack of all trades, not really. View range is already good enough. Mentor can be always useful, but I would only choose Mentor if you don't know anything else. So I would go with Sixth Sense or Repairs or Brothers in Arms. Camouflage, usually for light tanks, can be quite useful. The problem with this machine is that it doesn't have a good camo rating, because again, it's a Panther, and that's the reason I wouldn't go with camouflage on this. If you for example have a tank with a good view range and you're planning to put binoculars on it and a camo net, then camouflage is maybe a good idea, but not on this machine. On the gunner, repairs and brothers in arms, and that's difficult. Snapshot, you could take snapshot, but I find the accuracy is already decent enough, and I only have 88% crew skill trained, so you can use it. It's not really necessary. That eye, again, the same. Maybe designate a target, that could be useful, but I would go with repairs or brothers in arms. The gunner skills, I don't think that they are a must-have on this vehicle and its playstyle. For the driver, I would go with you don't need clutch braking, definitely not. You could use preventive maintenance, because it has a frontal transmission. It's just a Panther. It will be set on fire from the front, so that could be useful. Smooth ride, again, I think it's accurate enough. I don't really think it's necessary. Off-road driving could be of course useful, but what I would go for on this is controlled impact, because this machine is absolutely great for ramming. You're gonna see it that later. I got a small clip prepared. It's really great at ramming, and I would use that. So standard skilled repairs brothers in arms, and these skills are already pretty much good enough. So I would go for preventive maintenance or controlled impact. Radio man for this thing. Difficult. Call for vengeance is usually only good for real scout tanks. Signal range extension, we don't really need that. We got already 710 view range. Again, we already have almost 400 meters. So yeah, maybe relaying, but I would go with brothers in arms or repairs in that case. And for the loader, brothers in arms or repairs, those are not really of any use for this machine, I think. So now we got crew skills covered. Let's take a look at equipment. I actually have something fitted right now. I have a vertical stabilizer to increase the accuracy during movement and tilt rotation, and that's possibly the reason I don't really need snapshot on the gunner. Of course, if you don't go for a vertical stabilizer, then snapshot maybe is a better idea. That's correct. I got a gun rammer fitted. Firing faster is always a good thing, so why not? And vents. Of course, you could go with toolbox. If you get detracked, if you get hit and you will get lucky and only get detracked, toolbox is always good. That's useless. That's useless. Aiming speed is already good enough. Well, actually, it's not that good. So you could go for that, but 10%, it's only 0.2 seconds. So I don't think it really matters on the tank. So, and it's pretty expensive. So I wouldn't go for this. Coated optics. If you want even more view range, you could take that. Telescope is not a good idea for this because it's not a stationary scout. It doesn't have camo value for this. It's getting shot to pieces the second it gets spotted, and it will get spotted. And you're a huge target, so don't take that. Enhanced torsion bars, 10% suspension load capacity. You don't need it. You just don't need it. Maybe for the durability, but it's not worth it, I think. And Emmerich again, it's not prone to Emmerich damage. Camouflage net. It does give a proper bonus, but only when it's stationary, and I don't recommend being stationary in this. So not really. The key is really to use your speed to stay alive. That is really the key. So we don't need camouflage net. Spore liner could be useful actually because of protection from ramming and explosions, and maybe if you combine spore liner and controlled impact, that could be really awesome. Because again, it's a very good ramming machine. So that could be quite fun to take, and I feel it improves ventilation as it improves everything, and that's always good. Ammo capacity, we have 81 shells. I got some APCR loaded, and we don't have any heat, so mostly AP and some APCR, and I think you're good to go. For the consumables, again, I got my standard consumables fitted. Small repair kit, first aid kit, and fire extinguisher. I'm not a fan of those. Of course, if you want, take them, but I'm not a fan of those. So that's that. Yeah, the Aufklärungspanzer Panther. An interesting machine. I think we should have a look at some games right now and see how it can perform. So that was a match on Cliff, and that's the matchmaking you're going to see the most, tier 10. And now my plan was to just make one scouting rush, just go in the center and take a look over the ridge, and then cut back immediately um, just to take one quick look and see what mediums are coming there, just trying to assist the team, you know. I don't really can do any flanking or anything right now, or any annoy them or whatever. I just can go here, scout them, look at them, draw their attention to me, and hope that my team takes advantage of that. There's a bad shot, and an A50, and cut back directly. I'm taking some cover. Can't really do anything at the moment besides waiting and trying to get some opportunist shots off like this. And that's the possibility. That's these situations where you got to watch out for. If you can put just some rounds into the back of enemy high tier tanks. You may already have noticed that it's very good for pulling back, so you can just drive there, get one shot off, and then pull back directly and not get hit. It has very good acceleration. Again, just cutting back, trying to stay alive, wait for a better opportunity to be helpful to the team. It's not always good to be to just stay at the front line and put yourself at danger, at risk. You know, sometimes it's better to just cut back and wait a few minutes, and then when when the time is right, when you got the opportunity, then you go in and get the enemy where he's not expecting it. So there are lots of tier 10 heavies on the left flank at the corner over there. That's a choke point. I don't want to go there and mess with anyone, so I'm trying to stay in the middle. The Vela is also a choke point, so again, not suited for me. So the only thing I can do is really just wait at the moment and wait for a better opportunity to do something. There's a medium tank on the left and a light, a bad shot, and the AMX is dead. Not going to follow these guys. Now the center is pretty open. Don't have any defense here besides the medium on the hill, and so it's pretty much me alone, and I'm just trying to get up here to take a look at the F line and try to see if there's anyone coming, so that our attacking force on the left is not getting flanked. And there's a T1, 10, E5 and an ST1 coming. So that's bad, and now I know I gotta get the hell out of here, because that guy is going to kill me dead. And I ram that rock, but he only hits me in the track. And the tracks of this machine are pretty good. They're pretty durable, you can see. He didn't detrack me, he just damaged it. But now, that's the thing I talked about earlier. Now he's facing the other tier 10 tanks behind me, and I can pop out, pull back, and put shots right into his side armor. And that's these are those moments you gotta watch out for. To hit him here, I have a lot faster rate than he does. Penetrate his weak side armor. He shot again, and basically just do it all over again. Now this FV is going to attack. Unfortunately, he gets one right into him. And now the T-110 is focusing on him. He gets destroyed. And now it's my turn. Turn right, get around him. He's focusing on that object. Get into his side, and he finishes him off. These are the opportunist moments which you gotta watch out for. Fortunately, the rest of the game was that the enemy team kept the base, and we weren't able to get back there in time. I was killed trying to do exactly that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so let's take a look at the next match, which was actually a little bit lower tiered. So I finally made it into a tier 8 match. Unfortunately not tier 7, but tier 8 is good enough. It was pretty difficult. It took quite some time because you're getting thrown into tier 10 and tier 9 all the time. So what my plan was, and it's not. It's debatable if this was the best plan, but I just wanted to go to the hill. I didn't feel like camping on the right side, and also the base is here. And it's not a camping tank, and maybe in tier 7 you can do that, but not at tier 8. And I tell those guys on the island not just to sit there, but actually do something. They were kind of helpful in the end, but the island is really like a noob magnet. So because many players are just getting on there and just camping there, and, as if the base was at B9. But enough ranting. Back to the game at hand. So we're just going up here and trying to play it, yeah, kind of as a front line medium actually, and seeing if there's just peeking up and taking a quick look at possible enemy forces. Didn't see anyone, and a nice 3 suddenly is approaching. So I try to play the bait for him. He fires, misses, and I'm hoping that the friendly tank destroyers and heavy tanks on the sad island are going to take him under fire. Which are they doing? Picking up, putting one into him, but unfortunately getting one myself, and that was a mistake. That wasn't necessary to do in any way. Really, it wasn't. So as the VK, I bounced him. That was a bad shot, but at least these guys can shoot. Well, they can, but at least they can shoot. They know how to fire their guns and how to aim. Again, spotting that I3, bouncing unfortunately, but I'm hoping for my team to get the job done. Because with that conish, the front of the I3 not very good. And I'm getting shot at from the side, from the T-43 and his friends. That was probably his gun, and you can see it's very good at just shooting, pop out, shoot, pop back, and that's what what I was saying. So you can really pop out, shoot, and pop back. It has very good acceleration, even in hilly terrain. WoT-Panther. It doesn't look too bad at this point. Our mediums have already flanked the entire road on the eastern side of the map, and they're now pretty much encircling the enemy team. And I'm just thinking about going over, but I don't know how many enemies there are, and even a Pershing is pretty tough. And there are some more enemies. See, pretty good accuracy, pretty good aiming time, so that's fine. And that's why I said I don't really need anything besides the vertical stab. I don't need any more skills or anything. I think it's not necessary. T-32 and pop back just in time. Very good at this. Penetrate. Maybe I can get up another one. Yes, and pop back. And he fires again, I think. Very good, and that's what and if you can do that in tier 10, just disturb the enemy, harass them, draw their attention to yourself, and draw their attention to away from the main force. Then that's a good job. So at this point we're pretty much just encircling them, and yeah, we are about to win this. T-32. grind firing. Is 3 left on the hill, maybe more. Yep, there's Pershing still. I'm not really going uphill. I would. I really would like to, because I could shoot those guys at the cap in their backs. But I really can't take on an IS-3 and a Pershing alone. Luckily, these guys are getting hammered, and now I'm going up. And the second I get up, they're about dead. So it's only the IS-3 and the T-25 AT left. I'm just going around here. You can see very fast tank, very mobile. And he's dead. Now, you can see the penetration potential of this gun. It's not that great, so I know that it's sloped, but it's pretty much... I got 1 penetration, so what I was about to say, I know it's sloped, but again, it's facing the wrong direction. It's pretty much flat, the way I look at it right now, and I got 2 penetrations, 2 bounces, so the gun is not the best, really. It's not. If you are going to face a tier 10 tank or tier 9 tank at this kind of angle and range, you maybe can think about switching to APCR. Yeah, but that's that. So you can play the Panther, the Aufklärungspanther more aggressively, more like a medium tank, like I did. Spotted those guys on the hill. My team took them out, and afterwards flanked around and shot those guys in the back. So that was a pretty good match. But now, as promised, the ramming clip. The ramming moment. So I was trying to do the same, just do one spot and then pretty much fuck off. But let's skip a bit. I was here, I pulled back, I got hit by one of those guys, and I pretty much pulled back, and that's at AMX 1375. Just decided to take him head on just for the lulz. Unfortunately, I get detracked. But this guy has to reload, and I don't know how, but somehow I survived this. All my tracks are fixed. Now I'm going for it. Destroyed him. Didn't even need that last shot. I would have done at least 200 damage on him. So it's very good for ramming. Maybe it was just an AMX 13 right now, but let's pretty good at ramming. Now, what's the final conclusion on this machine? Well, it's a rather special tank, I would say. If you're more of a classical light or medium tank driver, I would not recommend this, because it has a really unique playstyle, I think, and it's very map dependent. And so you can master it, you can have fun with it, but it's not a tank for beginners. It's pretty much only for advanced players, and if you already have the standard medium line up to the VK201D, I think it's probably the easier or more classical way to get to the Indian Panzer and to the Leopard 1. If you like a challenge, and maybe if you like to be a disturbing, harassing tank of sorts, yeah, go ahead, get this, give it a try. Give it at least a try. It's only tier 7, you don't have to keep it, but give it a try. If you already have the VK, why not give it a try? You don't need to grind for it necessarily, but just let it happen naturally, and just give it a try. Maybe you like it, maybe not. But again, it's a rather special vehicle, so yeah, that's that. Actually, the E25 I think is more of a light tank than the Aufklärungspanther. But that only as a side note. Check out my E25 video for more information on on that machine. Of course, as there are enough alternatives, real light tanks. Of course, the AMX 1375, 1319, and the T71 those are the real scouts. And if you want a classical scout, then of course get one of these. If you want a challenge and something different, get this. So that's pretty much it on this machine for now. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like the video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. It really helps a lot. Think about subscribing if you'd like to see more content. Check out my other videos. They're going to be links in the outro of this video. Yeah, leave your feedback, leave comments, do what you can, do what you like. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you in the next video.